As a kid, one of the most common things you hear is don't speak when you're not spoken to. But why is it like this? I have so many ideas and opinions I want to share, like how LeBron James is the best basketball player, or the fact that Oreos taste like cardboard without milk. Sadly, I will never get to share these thoughts because of a barrier grown-ups have created between us and them. Even though I always hear that the kids are our future, I really question if they mean it genuinely or not. If they did, I would be able to pitch my ideas and thoughts on why I think that ice cream should be for breakfast, or why I think that recess time should be extended to at least an hour. But I know I'm not alone feeling isolated because of this gap placed on us. In an article by a teacher from Minneapolis in January of 2018, Tom Radmacher, or Mr. Rad, explains that when he asked his class full of kids what the number one rule was, they all answered, "Be quiet." He was shocked that that was the first thing that came to mind. This inspired him to write an article titled, "Maybe we should stop telling our kids to be quiet," where he advises teachers to encourage dialogue instead of silencing children. Maybe when an adult writes about it, other grown-ups would actually listen, but today, it's time to let the kids talk. First, we'll speak on the issues with silencing children, then talk about the effects, before finally voicing some solutions to this problem. Because no one has to feel like their voice is a burden on others. SpongeBob SquarePants is a universally loved sponge, but if there's one thing about him, he talks a lot. One of his most grumpy counterparts, Squidward Tentacles, doesn't appreciate his fruitful conversation that SpongeBob offers, so he tells him to be quiet for the most part. Luckily for us and Nickelodeon, SpongeBob disregards negativity and keeps us chattering and positivity for seasons upon seasons. Unfortunately, not everyone is like SpongeBob. Sometimes that I encounter a Squidward in my life, it makes me feel bad about myself. Dr. Jane Nelson explains that parents make the big mistake of not considering how the child is feeling, thinking, or deciding. Meaning that parents don't see kids as beings with emotions or intellect. What comes out of this is a rocky relationship because my feelings as a kid aren't being validated. Now let's move on to the effects of these issues. I think the bottom line here is that nobody likes to be told to shut up. It can be for a number of reasons, like it making you feel unheard, or like it making you feel like you don't have a say in a conversation. And with all of these emotions comes the question, if we obviously see that telling people to shut up is extremely disrespectful, why do we find no issue in doing it to kids? Well, children's minds are developing at an insane rate. According to the California Department of Education, the most crucial years of brain development are from birth to 3 years old. They also read that ages like 5 years old, kids need the most attention and care. Now you might be wondering what this has to do with telling kids to be quiet. Well, a lot actually. When a child's brain is developing, this is a time where letting your kid speak and speaking to your kid is most important. Telling your kid to be quiet in this crucial era of childhood is harmful and can lead them being closed off because they fear that the world will treat them like their parents do. Alright, I'm not saying that parents are evil and we should rebel against them. What I am getting here is that silence is not golden for children. It's like a rusty metal that has been left out for too long. So let's talk about some solutions to give these adults. First and most simple solution, don't tell your kids to shut up. In an article by moms.com of September 10th, 2020 advises guardians to say things like, "Please be quiet and we'll talk later" when you want your child to quiet down. This not only quiets down your child, but also gives them the opportunity to speak at a later time. Second, truly value and listen to the conversation you have with your kids. Most of the times, parents just brush off kids' input because they don't exactly value them. But who else is going to put the most creative ideas to the table? Exactly, nobody but kids. Listening also gives you the opportunity to pick up on what the kid is feeling like. Oftentimes, kids will share their feelings through anecdotes of their day, so it's really important to listen to every word a kid says. And finally, encourage kids to speak. This might sound scary for a lot of parents who are already having a hard time keeping their child to be quiet, but hear me out. When you encourage your kid to speak at appropriate times, they pick up on those social cues and know when to speak because they feel like you want them to speak. And you can take it from me because I am a kid. So after going over the causes, problems, and solutions, I think we heard to kids a good amount today. But this is how it should be all the time, not just today. Foster conversations with kids and engage with what they say. And never tell kids to shut up, or you'll get another long lecture from the one and only me. Thank you.